Good morning everybody, today it is Wednesday the 3rd of February and here is your rocking recall for today. You need to answer these 13 questions on the 10 times table. Pause the video now to answer as many as you can. Good luck. And here are your answers. Pause the video now to mark the questions you have done. And here is your place value activity for today. You need to put the numbers in order. So if you have a look at the top row of stars, you can see the numbers 212, 221, 202, 201 and 222. You need to fill in the spaces in the stars, hearts, pentagons and hexagons and put the numbers in order from smallest to largest. You don't need to draw out the shapes, you can just write these down. Pause the video now and good luck. And here are your answers. Pause the video to mark them. Here is your geometry challenge for today. You need to write down the number of faces that each of these 3D shapes have, as well as their name. Pause the video now to have a go. Here are your answers for the geometry challenge today. Pause the video to mark the questions that you answered. Our learning objective today is to be able to divide one-digit numbers by 10. To be successful, we need to be able to count up and down in tenths, and we need to be able to recognise that tenths arise from dividing an object or number into 10 equal parts. First things first, guys, can you help me solve this division? What is 30 divided by 10? Pause the video now to have a quick think. Yes, of course you're right. 30 divided by 10 is 3. There are 3 groups of 10 in 30. Here is 30 in our place value chart, and as you can see, it has 3 10s and no 1s. But what happens when we divide 30 by 10? In our second place value chart, you can see the place value of the digits have changed. There's now 0 tenths and 3 1s, because 30 divided by 10 is 3. It looks like I need your help again, Year 3. What is 80 divided by 10? Pause the video now to have a quick think. Oh, of course, 80 divided by 10 is 8. There are 8 groups of 10 in 80. Let's take a look at 80 in our place value chart. As you can see, there are 8 10s and no 1s. But what happens when we divide 80 by 10? What happens to the place value of the digits? Now there are no longer any 10s in 8, there's only 8 1s. Now you can see that there are 0 tenths, and we've learnt about tenths this week when we've compared 0.1 to 1 tenth. Now there's a strange funny dot that you can see in between the 1s and the tenths. That is our decimal point. And we've also learnt about that this week when we've compared our 0.1 to our tenth. It looks like I need your help again, Year 3. Can you help me solve this division? What is 10 divided by 10? Pause the video now and have a think. Well done if you got the answer 1. 10 divided by 10 is 1. There is 1 group of 10 in 10. Let's take a look at our place value chart. And on the top, you can see we have number 10. And 10 is made up of 1 10 and no 1s. But look what happens when we divide 10 by 10. Now we already know our answer is 1. And when we look at 1 in our place value chart, we can see that 1 has 1 1 and no tenths. Now can we use the same method to work out what 1 divided by 10 is? So here we have number 1 in our place value chart, and as you can see we have a 1 in the ones column. There's nothing in the hundreds, in the tens or in the tenths, we just have a 1 in the ones column. Now look what happens when we divide 1 by 10. What has happened to the place value of our digits? 1 is now a tenth. 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. The value of the 1 has changed. It's really, really important, guys, when you are dividing a one-digit number by 10, that the decimal point does not move. The decimal point stays fixed. Okay? It is the place value of the digits that change, not the decimal point moving. We can look at 1 divided by 10 in this way too. Sometimes drawing things can make it easier to see. So here we have our 1 in our ones column. When we divide by 10, the place value of 1 changes. It's really important to remember that the decimal point does not move. It's the value of the digit that changes. So here you can see that our 1 was in the ones column, and when we divide by 10, our 1 is now in the tenths column, showing that 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. Can you help me solve this division? What is 3 divided by 10? First, we're going to look at 3 divided by 10 in this way. So here we can see we have 3 ones in our ones column. When we divide by 10, the place value of the 3 changes. What is it now? You're right, it's in the tenths column. So now we know that 3 divided by 10 is 0.3. Well done for remembering that the decimal point does not move. It is the place value of the digits that change. Here is your challenge for mild today. There are 6 steps that you need to complete for 4 questions. Your first question is asking you what is 7 divided by 10, and these are the steps you need to take. For A, you need to draw the number on the place value chart. B, you need to complete the division. C, you need to draw your answer on your place value chart to show your answer. So the place value of your single digit number will change from ones to tenths. D, you need to answer, has the place value of the digit changed? And you tick yes or no. E, you need to complete the sentence. How many ones divided by 10 equals how many tenths? And F, you need to tick, has the decimal point moved? Yes or no. And you need to repeat these 6 steps for 7 divided by 10, 4 divided by 10, 6 divided by 10, 9 divided by 10. You might choose to work on hot/spicy instead of mild. The only difference really between the two is question D, and it's asking you for you to explain your reasoning. What do you notice about the place value of the digit, as opposed to you just ticking a yes or a no answer? So you need to answer questions A, B, C, D, E and F for 7 divided by 10, 4 divided by 10, 6 divided by 10 and 9 divided by 10. Hi everyone, here are your answers for 7 divided by 10. Now these would be the correct answers for mild and hot and spicy. You've just got to remember that hot and spicy have slightly different questions for D and F. For D and F on spicy, for D you would have to explain that the place value of the digit 7 had changed from 7 ones to 7 tenths. And for F you would have to explain that the decimal point does not move. But A, B, C and E, the answers will be the same for mild as well as hot and spicy. Here are your answers for 4 divided by 10. Remember A, B, C and E are the same answers for mild as well as hot and spicy. For D on spicy, you would have to explain that the place value of the digit 4 has changed from 4 ones to 4 tenths. And for F, you would have to explain that the decimal point does not move. And here are your answers for 6 divided by 10. Remember that A, B, C and E are the same for mild as well as hot and spicy. For D, on hot/spicy, you would have to explain that the place value of the digit 6 has changed from 6 ones to 6 tenths. And for question F, you would have to explain that the decimal points do not move. It is only the place value of the digits that change. And finally, guys, here are your answers for 9 divided by 10. Remember that A, B, C and E, they're the same answers for mild as well as hot/spicy. D, on hot/spicy, you would have to explain that the place value of the digit 9 has changed from 9 once to 9 tenths when we divide a single digit number by 10. And for F, you need to have written something along the lines of that the decimal point does not move. What changes is the place value of the single digit when you are dividing by 10. And last but not least, everyone, here we have our plenary question, and you can see 100 divided by 10 is 10, 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. Can you explain what is happening to the place value of the digit 1 each time we are dividing the numbers by 10? Pause the video now and have a think about what you've learned today that might help you explain your answer.